It's the time for the package from China. Let's go! But let's check out what we're getting when it comes to the overall software. So pressing start of select, there is nothing we're getting over here when it comes to extra menu or settings. So we're having the all list, we have some MAME, PlayStation. So we do have a lot of new systems compared with the SF3000. So where the SF3000 wasn't dedicated, let's say, very basic emulator device, this thing comes with a little bit more features when it comes to emulators. So that's kind of interesting. We're having the download folder over here where we can implement new games. And with favorites. That's one of the things I love about these things. However, there's a kind of interesting options when getting into a list and you're pressing the Y over here, we have the option to search. So let's do it first. Like always, let's search for Sonic. And let's see what we're having with this. So we do have all kinds of lists. It doesn't really state so far I can see what kind of platform it is. So we can also make it a favorite. So let's say you want to save the Sonic Wing as favorite, pressing the X. So what is cool about this? So let's go all the way back. I say go all the way back. And okay. Let's go back here. Having history. So the history is kind of cool. We can see what kind of games have been played. And then the favorite list. And this is the single game that have been saved out. So that's kind of cool. So in here we're having all kinds of different solutions, kind of basic, but I think for most people this is just enough. Okay, so let's get into some gameplay and let's see how the systems will run. So we're starting off with some MAME and let's see how the overall emulation performance is and what can we getting with an extra, let's say, menu. We do have some widescreen shenanigans, however, so select. You need to press when getting into the MAME and Neo Geo. Pressing both of them will get you the special menu. And here having quick load, quick save. So the save function is kind of deluxe. Okay, so let's start off with the game. Alright, let's select and start. Let's load. I love it when they make these tiny screenshots. And that works like a charm. So quick load, quick save. I love it when we have like different menu, or at least a special picture with the menus where we can easily switch. So the D-pad itself is not going to be a pleasant experience. Joystick seems to be working fine. Seems to be working fine. You see, trying to shoot different directions with a D-pad, it's just freaking impossible. The display, however, is absolutely beautiful. I think even the camera picks it up. So when it comes to that, it's great, but also the audio. This tiny speaker at the back sounds amazing. But let's get in some other games. So let's move on to some MAME, or at least like arcade. So this is not going to be a pleasant experience because we have a really horrible D-pad, or a shitty D-pad I love to call it. Which we'll try to play. Let's see if we can get everything into a certain... No, it was a certain move out, but this is impossible with these D-pads. So the analog stick is fine. Getting at the game, I don't notice too many problems. Audio-wise, it's great. I did notice some minor hiccups in the beginning when it comes to the character selection screen, but besides that, there's nothing much when it comes to that. So overall emulation performance, well. So another system I love to try out is some PlayStation 1. This is new, this was not available on the previous model. The audio, or at least the music, has not been implemented. So the D-pad is fine for just playing some racing games, that is no problem whatsoever. Analog stick and the D-pad have been mapped. But I find it not comfortable at all, simply with the button placement, but also the size. Why does that freaking annoying guy keep like driving in front of me? Go away. But so far, the emulation of PlayStation 1 seems to be running fine. So that's great. We can also make quick loads, quick save if you want to. Let's see how long that takes. Okay, that works quite fast. No problem there whatsoever. But there's a little bit of a downside, there is no music. The soul of the game is away, is gone. More widescreen shenanigans, yep. That is what we're getting with this freaking device. I find it a little bit of a downside that we don't have the option to change out the aspect ratio. And the reason why, because we have seen cheap devices that actually have no problem with that. Game sticks that can just switch easily through, let's say, different ratios, regions, you name it. But we cannot do this with this, and that's one of those many things I've been complaining for many years now. I think we should put it on the t-shirt. There is always something they mess up. And that is a fact. Hey. Ah! There goes my egg. This, by the way, it's the cheating version. We cannot die. Next up, some Super NES. It seems to be there is no problem with the emulation itself. No weird audio things going on. So the audio is already maxed up. I love it when you're going to be pushing the volume button. You can just actually see how much power your battery still has. So far so good. So that's great to see that we can actually have some good performance here. But the D-pad is not pleasant to play with these kind of games. But the emulation performance of Super NES is great, absolutely. But one of the things I really hate about these devices, when they're putting a list on here and everything is going to be having a problem with alphabetic order, and I'm guessing this has to do with, let's say, the numbers up front of it. However, it's just one huge mess and I hate it. We do have a search option, that's cool, but still a mess, absolutely. But let's get into some emulation of the Sega Genesis, and that seems to be working all fine so far. Yep, sound effects right here. And you know how the game plays. Push him in the face and kick him in the balls. That's how we go to play. Beefcake turns into Wolfie. Okay. The only weird thing is that we have this... No! This jump button. Go! Ah, yeah. And it just gets punched in the face. However, emulation performance is great. We can also make quick load, quick save here, but no aspect ratio. That would be a great upgrade for the next time. Man, the audio goes like so much louder with the Game Boy emulator. At first I was thinking it was completely sounding wrong, but so far no problem. Then the biggest problem is the aspect ratio, of course. This looks absolutely hideous. But when it comes to, let's say, the Game Boy, it's possible to play. So let's move on into some rally on the Game Boy Advance. I think Game Boy Advance will utilize the screen a little bit better than the normal Game Boy, but let's find out if we can actually play the game and how the emulation performance is. So far so good. No weird audio glitches whatsoever. Also the audio sounds great. Oh, there's my brake. Crap, I didn't know. Don't you love that these games all look and sound sometimes the same? Every single time I'm looking at this, the only thing I see is some Super Mario Kart. But maybe that's me. But it's kind of fun. Something different with a car, driving fast. It's kind of a cool game, by the way. Ooh.